All right. Hello, everybody. And thank you for joining us tonight for our call-out meeting for the North Central women's tennis team for the 2021-2022 season. I hope everybody can hear me. It says that you can on my computer. Just trying to take a quick moment to introduce myself. My name is Dan Brunette. Coming back this year as the head coach of the North Central women's tennis program. I took a step back for 4 years to focus on family, and I'm very excited for this new opportunity. I know last year we had a very large team and a lot of enthusiasm, and I look to continue a lot of the traditions that were forged in the past and start some new ones as well. And I did coach the girls for 10 years before stepping down, and I continued as the boys coach, and now I'm the boys and girls are men's and women's coach also. So thank you for that opportunity, and I'm glad that you're here on time tonight. I know there's gonna be a lot of people here joining late, and for those of you that are watching this as a recording or have any questions that aren't covered or want to rewatch it, I will post this on the North Central Athletics webpage along with the Word document that I'm going to go over this evening. If you happen to have any questions, please put your questions in the chat box after I've gone through what information I wanted to go over tonight. I will address those questions, and if you want to stay on afterwards to listen, you're more than welcome to do that. And if you want to leave, obviously you can do that as well. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. It's been a while since I've been doing this Zoom thing, so we will go ahead and get started. All right, so like I said, taking over this year as the head coach again. I've coached the girls for 10 years, took 4 years off, coached the boys for 14 years, went to Valparaiso University, where I played tennis and studied history, German, geography, and theology. Was lucky enough to land the North Central boys and girls coaching jobs in the year 2008. And I've been here ever since. I teach AP World History and World History at North Central. And I'm also active in the summers in the summer program and running tennis tournaments and kind of a general tennis ambassador to the community as well. You can see my email address here. And so if you need to email me, please email me at my school address, dbrunette@msdwt.k12.in.us. Also joining us then is Mark Brandman, who has served faithfully as the head coach for the last 4 years. He will be in the role of associate head coach or top assistant. And that's how to reach Mark Brandman, Coach Mark Brandman. And then also coming back is Coach Matt Riley and Coach Kim Gosh. Cannot be more excited to work with Mark, Matt, Kim, as we've had a lot of experience together in the last 7 or 8 years. And also joining us then is going to be Claire Reifeis. Claire graduated from North Central in 2016 and played tennis at the University of Nebraska and is a wonderful instructor, very caring individual, and obviously a very good player as well. But I think more importantly, she understands the North Central tradition and has played at all levels. And so I think she will be a great asset to the coaching staff as well. Kind of the nitty gritty here of what we need to kind of the information that I wanted to push out to you tonight. The off-season schedule, this is going to start pretty quickly. And part of it was difficult for me to get this meeting started because I had to finish the boys season. And as some of you know, I'm preparing to have my wife's having our third child, and I'm trying to wrap my hands around that as well. So baby Brunette number 3 is due on Wednesday of next week or any time in between now and then. So it's going to be a little bit of a interesting start here. But like I said, nonetheless, I'm very excited. So next Monday, November 1st, is going to be our first voluntary weights or conditioning. And We are going to be doing this in the weight room, and you're going to need to be at door number 5 by 5 p.m. And we're going to meet on Mondays and Thursdays. I know this is not ideal for a lot of players who are playing in clinics at various times. And so obviously it's voluntary, but I would like you to make it at least once a week. Twice a week would be optimal. If you're only making it once a week, hopefully you can do some stuff on your own. I had the boys team work with Coach K in the weight room last year. I was a little nervous about injuries. I know he had worked with our girls team last year, and I cannot be more impressed by what he does. And I would recommend that if you have your own private conditioning coaches and you go to other places, that's perfectly fine. I think adding Coach K to your regimen and your workout routine would be absolutely phenomenal. He has a great understanding of the physical anatomy, of functional lifting, and he's not going to put our players through anything that's going to cause injuries. And in fact, I was pleasantly surprised that most of the stuff that he was doing was stuff that we did was tennis oriented when I was in college at Valparaiso, and even better. So that's 5 to 6 p.m. and that starts on the 1st if you have your physical on file. We'll talk about that in a second. Just a quick reminder, we will not meet on any early release days. All right. So there's another one coming up 2 weeks from today, or during breaks such as Thanksgiving break or winter break, or during finals week. So make sure you plan accordingly. We're not allowed to meet during those weeks. All right. The first official day of practice / tryouts, if you want to mark your calendar ahead of time, is March 14th. And I have location to be determined. I'm going to kind of go over that here in a little bit so that everybody is on the same page and understands the difficulties that we're dealing with as a coaching staff and as a program this year. So before we start conditioning, I have the wrong number on here. This should say the 1st. That is my fault. Before we start on the 1st, you need to make sure you have a physical on file from the school. In order to have the link on here, and I'm going to go ahead and email this out once you fill out the Google form. And like I said, put it on the athletics webpage as well. But you need to make sure that you have a completed physical file and that you complete your healthy roster account. So instructions for that are on the website, and my link appears to not be working very well. But if you go to the athletics webpage, it's very easy. If you go to participation forms, you need to make sure you have those on file. The second thing then to participate is the team Google form. This is pretty basic information, but we need to have information about every player. If you could fill that out, make sure that you put the best email that you're actually going to look at, as that's important for us to be able to send information out. Other than that, you need to make sure that you passed 5 credit hours from the 2020-2021 second semester of the school year. And then since we're after the first 9 weeks, make sure that your GPA is higher than a 2.0 from the first 9 weeks of this school year. Obviously, the eligibility will change once first semester is over. If you're even close to that 2.0 GPA, I would encourage you to come by to my room or Coach Gosh or Coach Riley's room, and we can help you figure out ways to get those grades up so that you're not close to a 2.0, much higher. In terms of communication, we're going to use the Remind app again. And so text the number 81010, and in the message box, put at NCWT 2022. To do that, then we can send you individual messages. I can send group messages. All the other coaches can be administrators and even team parents to get out information in the most timely fashion, and to get it to send as a text message. I would encourage you to make sure you get the app on your phone if possible. So then we can send individual messages easier that way. Also, then we will use email. So that's why the Google document is necessary. So I'd love for you to get that done. If you're watching this as a recording, go ahead and download the Word document and please get that filled out. So I think the biggest hurdle that we're going to face this year as a team is the fact that things are going to be different. The courts, the North Central tennis courts on campus are set for demolition starting February of 2022. Now, that is not a guarantee, but it's about a 99% likelihood. The school board still has to vote on when demolition is going to start, but it appears that it'll definitely be before the start of the North Central women's tennis practice season. So that means that all of our practices and matches are going to be played off-site. I've been going back and forth with the school district and with our athletic administration on where we be practicing, and I have really gotten no answers. We've suggested places. It's down to a couple different locations, but there's been no contract signed and there's been no guarantee. We will be playing somewhere and practicing somewhere. But like I said, no guarantees where it's going to be yet. And so because of that, this is going to result in a smaller team than in previous years. And this isn't something that I obviously want to be coming in and doing as the first year head coach coming back. A little bit of background information. When I took over in 2009, the team was 4-13 and had about 40 players. By the time, 4 or 5 years into it, we were in the state finals multiple times and had a team of 50 to 60 players. And so I am all about team integration, team unity, having a large team and making every player feel comfortable, and family is big. It was one of the biggest things that I think I helped bring in 2008 when I came to North Central, the idea that everyone is a part of the family and everyone has a role. And so unfortunately, this team's going to be a little bit smaller, and we are going to have to make cuts. And when the courts are put back in, which I already had another meeting about today, when they're finished, we'll have 26 tennis courts, and we'll definitely return back to our traditional no-cut tennis team. Other outstanding issues upon which I've pressed administration and have not gotten answers yet from are to and travel from practice is still yet to be determined. We're going to have some kind of busing, either mini buses or large buses. I'm not certain if players will be able to drive. I know that's going to be a question that a lot of people will have. And at this point, wherever we do go, which I haven't been told where, it appears that all of our matches this season will be played at other host schools. So, like I said, it's going to be a very different season, one that I'm not accustomed to. I've never cut a player in my 24 seasons at coaching at North Central. So, it kind of tears at my heart as well as maybe some of you who are accustomed to having the large team. And like I said, this is just going to be temporary and we'll move forward. But that'll be for this season in the 2022 year. How we are going to make the roster or fill out the team. We're going to use a traditional challenge ladder to determine who makes the team this season. And a traditional challenge ladder basically works where you place players in a ranking order, and then you let them play. And based on wins, they move up, losses, they move down, and you play enough matches that you figure out what spot each player is in. To determine how we're going to start that ladder, and this kind of goes with the memo that was sent out earlier in the season, determine how we're going to place people is we're going to use this system called Universal Tennis Rating, which stands for UTR. And this is a system that's become popular in the last 5 years, replacing some of the antiquated USTA rankings, which were made it a little more difficult to record matches and actually get a number that works. And so I'm going to go ahead and change the screen share here to show you how UTR works. So UTR, you'll see that I'm signed in. Danielle Brunette, you'll see I have some funny matches on here. First, Lily Taylor, she was on the team last year because we were just entering in random scores to figure stuff out last year. But how UTR works is you can use the link or just click in Universal Tennis Rating in Google. And when you go to search, you can look for players. So if I go to players, I can look up every player in the world. From Novak Djokovic, you can see the 3 highest UTRs in the world: Novak Djokovic, Rafael Nadal, Medvedev, etc. But I thought for fun, we'd see if one of our coaches had a UTR. So we click in Coach Gosh, and there we go. Coach Gosh has a 4.65 UTR. It is unverified though, because it's not reliable. She hasn't played any matches as she recently had a baby. Congratulations, Coach Kim. But if we want to look up, let's say last year's state champion for North Central, AJ Mahentran, you can look up. He's got a number 11.31 and shows his results. And so in order for this number to be verified, you'll see that when you look this up in the upper right-hand corner, it has a little check mark next to it. Okay. And you can click on that and it says verified. That means that he's played 10 matches. Okay. In order to get a verified UTR, you need to have played at least 10 matches. A lot of the clubs are using this in how they're determining who makes what groups at particular clubs as well. So it's, again, it's not anything that's mandatory. It's just something that we're going to use to start the challenge ladder. Now, if you want to make a UTR, and something that we saw Coach Gosh had and I have, it is free. You do not have to sign up for anything. And you might be surprised if you've played matches before in the USTA or other formats, your scores might already be on there as well. The other thing you can do with this is you can search events. So when you click on all events, what I did was I put in, instead of the location, I'm going to go ahead and use 46240. I'm going to click that and I'm going to press apply. Now I'm going to look for matches within, I don't want to drive that far, so I'm going to say 25 miles. And so you'll notice that we have registration open at West Indy Racket Club for a weekly verified match play. Cost is $15 and you get one match and you play from 4:30 to 6 and they pair you up with the person that is closest in UTR to you. So the cost of this one match is $15 versus the cost of most USTA tournaments are $50 or more. So this is one of the benefits to the UTR system. If you look at players, you'll notice another benefit is that it is co-ed. You have Jacqueline Layton, and then you have Nathan Straka of North Central. So you can play, again, co-ed, gendered, different levels, and there can be different formats for UTR as well. Also, the scoring can be such that you can play matches quicker. You can only do sets to 4 instead of doing sets to 6. You can play no ad, etc. So It offers a lot of flexibility. All right, so if I go back and I want to see, it looks like that's probably the closest UTR event other than this Drumstick Open at West Indy as well, which that looks like an adult tournament. So that's one way to get matches. I would encourage you to look at. I know West Indy is going to be hosting these every Friday. So if you don't have to be a member either to play in them. So you don't have to pay a membership fee either. All right, I'm going to go ahead and go back then to our call out meeting document and emphasize this point right here, that this whole UTR thing is merely a starting point. You do not have to have any type of match experience necessary to try out for the team. Okay. And so that being said, you don't have to have played before. You can be a beginner. I would encourage you to play. But the next point, all players trying out for the team will have a fair chance to make the team using our traditional challenge ladder. This is by far the most fair way to assess a tennis player without any subjectivity. Okay. So I anticipate only having a handful of girls who have a UTR. I would encourage as many girls as possible to try to get one. I know that it's difficult. I know people have things going on, etc. And I'll share more opportunities on how to play matches here in a little bit. But we do want you to make sure that you can keep score before tryouts begin March 14th. So we will get the team together at least once or twice for team bonding activities before tryouts begin. But we will also have a scoring strategy meeting prior to the start of the season. So be on the lookout. Make sure you sign up for the remind and the email so we can get that out to you. Players looking for help. If you want to get help ahead of time in terms of how to score, I wrote on here, please see coaches Kim Gosh and Matt Riley for help. They're at school, or you can use their email addresses. You're also welcome to stop by my room at any point in time, H606. I'd love to talk tennis, but I'm going to be gone for a couple weeks when we have our third child, so it would have to be after Thanksgiving break. So moving forward here, out of season playing opportunities. So this is where I think some of the players that are on this and some parents that are on this have had some confusion. So I wanted to kind of clear a few things up. First off, the USDA website changed about, I believe it was a year ago, January. And they're still tweaking it and making updates to it. And I had to deal with it all summer. It was not fun by any means, but there's a couple of things to pay attention to when you're looking for tournaments to play in. And what's of particular importance is that you pay attention to the level of the tournament. So most players on the North Central women's tennis team will be starting to look to play level 7 tournaments. These are good for beginners and or any players that have played 5 or less tournaments. Okay. Typically, these are done in one day, and you get to play 2 to 3 matches in that one-day tournament. If you've played a varsity or high JV match last year, or if you've done maybe even 3 or more tournaments, you should start to look to play level 6 tournaments. All right. Those are going to be tournaments that last no more than 2 days, typically a Saturday and a Sunday or a Friday and a Saturday. And if you are an experienced player from last year and you play year round and you have for years, you may be looking to play a level 5 tournament. I would encourage you, though, not to sign up for level 4 or 5 tournaments until you've had good results in level 6 and level 7 tournaments, particularly level 6. Okay. Now I'm going to go ahead and change the share again and go to the USTA page here. It did not work for me. 1 second. All right. So I just clicked on the link. And so if you go to the link that I put on here or just playtennis.usta.com, the first thing you're going to come to is a search box. And so what you want to do is you want to change it from any to junior, 18 and under. All right. And then you're going to put in your zip code. So I'm going to continue to use the zip code for North Central High School, 46240. And I'm going to start looking I'm actually going to go back a little bit to see what we could have played in earlier. And then I'm going to press search. So what's going to come up then are various different tournaments. So there was a tournament October 1st at the Healthplex. There was a tournament October 1st to the 3rd, level 5. So you see level 6, level 5. We had a couple players on our team playing that. I've got it set for up to 100 miles. So it does show me tournaments that are outside of Cincinnati. I can also change that. If I don't want to travel that far, I'm going to say I'm willing to travel 25 miles because I don't want to travel that far. So you had a doubles showdown for boys and girls. You can see that where it says events. That was a level 5 also. And then these are ones that I wish we would have gotten involved in a little bit earlier, but it's 2021 girls just want to have fun, 18 and under doubles series. So you click on this. It appears that the cost was free. I think you had to play in all 3 of them, but that would have been a good opportunity. And it looks like it didn't even go. I'm not surprised. Also then, if you go past that, so we look to the future here. We are at this weekend. So October 30th, there is a level 6 CITA girls 14s and 16s. This is at UIndy. We click on that. You can see who's already registered to play. And if you want to change to see who's 16 under, you can see who signed up to play this. Looks like we have 2 girls from the North Central team that have signed up to play. That's great. And one thing you want to pay attention to when you're signing up for these tournaments is make sure that you, again, pay attention to the level. And then make sure that you read the fine print down here. All right. So it'll give you the match format, guaranteed 2 matches. And it'll also typically, again, gives you the price. Let's see what else is out there moving forward. So that's the level 6. We also have level 7 doubles tournament this weekend. Registrations have already closed. Typically, registrations will close the Monday at about 11:59 before the tournament starts. Yeah, that would have been a great one to play in as well. I know we have some North Central players playing in that. We have a junior compass night where you get to play 3 matches that all would count towards your UTR. Level 6 Healthplex Girls Open on the 5th. Okay, that's level 6. Like I said, if you played a couple tournaments before, that would be great for you. And moving forward, you can see there's a lot more results here. And so a lot of clubs are offering these tournaments right now as more players are starting to play in them. And it's a revenue maker for them as well and fills their courts. And like I said, match experience is absolutely very, very important. All right. So if you have any more questions about this, please feel free to just stop by my room, see me, or send me an email, please. I'm going to go ahead and reshare then and go back to the call-out meeting document. Like I said earlier, I'm down to UTR events here that they are more flexible than USTA tournaments. A lot of them are only 1 day or even 1 match. And I know West Indy is on top of it. They are hosting every Friday. All right, last but not least then is racket clubs or groups, semi-private or individual lessons. This is always a hot topic. Tennis is a highly political environment. I put a handful on here. I know there are a lot of players from North Central, both on the girls and boys teams, playing at West Indy Racket Club. The assistant coach for the boys team, Lucas Walk, also who works in the Indianapolis Community Summer Tennis Program, is the junior director there. And then in our backyard, we have the Indianapolis Racket Club, which has all levels of classes. And I know we have North Central players playing there as well. The Indianapolis Healthplex is pretty close by. The JCC is in Washington Township. On their website, I wasn't able to find too many groups. I know they offer some. And then you have the Pearson Tennis Center in Zionsville as well. And there are a couple more out there. University or UND Tennis Center, which is quite a drive from North Central. And then also the Pendleton Tennis Center out in Pendleton, or the Community Health Tennis Center. All right. So here's where I would love to open it up to questions. I've already gotten one question. Can I send out this document? I would have to put it on a Google Doc real quick, which I can try to do. And then I can send out the link to it. Second question that I had, I'm going to go ahead and stop the share so I can see, was, do doubles build your UTR in the same way singles do? That is correct. And so we'll use a doubles verified UTR or doubles UTR or a singles UTR, whichever one is higher. We'll pay the same respect to both of them. I particularly think doubles is extremely important. Obviously, more players on a team play doubles than singles, and primarily at the junior varsity level, we will be working on playing more doubles than singles. And particularly this year with the small amount of courts as well. So yes, I had another question about how many people will be on the team. That will totally be related to how many courts we're able to get, and also how we're going to get there, whether we are taking minibuses or we're taking regular buses, plural. Maybe we need two. Depends on what the township's going to do for us. I do not see us having a team less than 28 to 30 people. I don't see us having a team more than 45. Depending on what facility we go to. I'm also trying to work out if we can have two separate teams where one team practices first and then there's a second practice after that. So those are all things that we're taking into consideration right now that we're waiting on answers for. Also had a question, if there is no construction on the tennis courts, will it be no cut? Absolutely. There would be no reason why we would need to cut. We have a large staff and very qualified staff to teach. So if there are no construction, we will not be cutting. And again, I know the school board has to vote on the timeline for that as well. Do we have any other questions? Feel free to unmute if you'd like to, or type it in the chat box, please. All right, it doesn't appear that we do. What I just want to remind everybody is we will start workouts on Monday of next week at 5 p.m. and meet at door number 5. Make sure you have water with you. Please wear a mask inside the building. And again, they're voluntary. You need to make sure that you have your physical on file and at least have started the application for the Healthy Roster account. I hope everyone is motivated to, again, play this year and is excited. We'll deal with the courts we'll deal with the courts when we know, and I'll let everybody know when I know. But most importantly, I think it's just it's important for us to be a team, start getting together, saying hi to each other in the hallways, and creating the environment that is North Central tennis, and that I so lovely or dearly love, and that's given me so many opportunities, and my family loves. And so, yeah. I got another question says conditioning just Monday and Thursday. Yes, that's correct. Another question, if we made a healthy roster last year, do we need to make a new one? Yes, you need to update your healthy roster. You should have an account, but you will need to update that as well. Anybody else? All right. Well, I would encourage you, please, especially if I don't know who you are, to come by this in my room, H606. Either Friday, that would be tomorrow, or Monday. Tuesday's an e-learning day, and Wednesday, my wife is a scheduled C-section. So if not, do that after Thanksgiving break. And I'm looking forward to having a great season. I know the coaches are as well. And I just want to thank everyone for all the work that you did and do and will be doing to make this a great season. I got a question. Can I show up late after swim practice? Yeah, you can if you want to, but if you're participating in outside sport, there's no expectation for you to be coming to conditioning or anything like that. All right, that would be, you're already putting in your time, and I'm sure your swimming is going to be very vigorous. So don't worry about it. Thank you, everyone, for the best wishes on the new baby. I think we are excited about having child number 3, but I'm excited coming back to be the Nice Central girls tennis coach, women's tennis coach. So have a good evening, everybody. Send me personal email if you need to, or a remind message, and fill out the Google Doc, and we'll see everybody around. Best wishes.